I am a diehard ChatGPT user. Why should I switch over to Claude? Is a question I got from my girlfriend last week. And I think it poses an important question now more than ever. Recently, we saw Anthropic stand up to the government and say, we don't want our AI models to be used for weaponized AI killings or for mass surveillance. ChatGPT and OpenAI quickly swooped in and said, we'll sign a deal, it looks sloppy, but we're confident we'll figure it out. What ended up happening is people mass left ChatGPT. An estimated 1.5 million people in the first week alone moved out from the platform. And now we see more and more people moving over to Claude, where their application even hit the top of the App Store. So the question still remains, why should I move over from ChatGPT to Claude? And I think it's pretty simple. Aside from the values that you may care about related to AI companies, what does it actually do for you? Let's look at this graph or this chart to figure out what we can see here. The first thing you should take note is that these models themselves offered by the companies, Claude Sonnet versus GPT and Gemini, the context windows are all 200K plus. The amount of information that you can fit into a single query or into a model is fairly high. So that's not such a big deal. In terms of intelligence, they've all reached intelligence parity, which means they're all roughly the same in terms of world knowledge, training, and capability. The only point I think that you should truly pay attention to if you want to switch from ChatGPT to Claude is what can the model actually do for me? In OpenAI, you do a lot of AI chat. You can generate images, you can generate video, and in some cases, you might use the Codex model if you're an engineer. If you work in Claude and you utilize Claude Cowork, the application here, there's a number of things that you can do, and I'll just walk you through them briefly. The first thing you should take note of is that if you work with documents, you work with files, you work with different integrated data sources, you'll want to work with Claude Cowork. Why is that? Well, here I can set up a folder. This folder is a directory for all of the files I might use. In ChatGPT, that would be considered a project where you add in PDFs or certain text files. So I give my project a directory or a file on my computer. What does that really mean and what can I do in it? Well, it's powered by the Opus 4.6 model, so I can chat with it. But this model also has agentic capabilities, which means it can utilize different tools and different skills or plugins to give you extra capabilities. So let's say you want to generate an Excel model based on inventory. You can do that in seconds. You can even ask Claude to look at existing Excel files and create a clean version of that. If you want to work at customizing or adding capabilities to your employees in different departments, you can look at connecting your tools. Let's say you work a lot with Canva or Slack or Asana or Clay. You can integrate all of those services into Claude Cowork into that directory. There's also specific plugins and skills. So let's say I want to add in a couple articles related to my company. I can drop in my website directory and I can use this brand voice skill. A skill is just a markdown file. It's just a file of text. You can think of it as a fancy prompt that an AI model will use in order to take a specific action based on how you would like it to perform. So any SOPs or standard documents you can drop in as skills. There's a number of other skills here. An SEO audit to see how is my website performing. A brand review to look at all of your brand guidelines, messaging, etc. All of that information is available via one marketing plugin. And there are hundreds of official and unofficial plugins that you can utilize with Claude. So within the Cowork ecosystem, it is incredibly extensible through skills, integrations, and plugins. And if you have a blank canvas problem, you actually don't know where to start and how to begin utilizing Claude Cowork, you can use the ideas board. This will help you get started just to experiment and see what is actually possible. If you care about AI content and you want to learn more about information like this, you can leave a comment or follow to stay engaged.